Welcome into A Toast of Film. And guys, as Bomb Betty Boo would say, happy 4th of July. That's right. It is 4th of July at the time of us recording. It is America's 250th birthday, as it were. And I decided to come in here, got a nice little short and sweet, just like me, pod, where I will be reviewing Young Washington. Stay tuned for that. And I will also be giving you Ebo's top 5 films to celebrate the 4th of July with. But guys, we are toasting this week. If you couldn't tell from my really cool shirt that I got from the old Target, we are toasting with Coca-Cola this week. And, I could have got, a nice little American-made brewski, but I had this cool shirt and I was like, you know what? Let's celebrate with some Coca-Cola. And one thing we also celebrating, the lads are buzzing, man, for the U.S. men's national team. That's right. I don't know if y'all, but me and Trey, we have been watching every single World Cup game. And this Monday at time recording, U.S. versus Belgium, Balogun may be out. But you know what? Christian Pulisic and the boys, they're going to pull it together. And also tomorrow, our friends South Mexico, let's cheer them on, knock old England out, them bums. Hey, all's fair in love and soccer, as we would call it. But that's right, it's the 4th of July. Happy 250th, birthday, America. But it is time for the review of the week, which is Young Washington. So this movie is about, you know what? You ever wonder what it was like when Washington, wasn't nothing? He was just a little, Virginia colonist. Well, you get your answer because John Irwin, he's directed a lot of films. I Can Only Imagine. He did Jesus Revolution, which I actually think is a good film. His other films are fine, but I actually do think Jesus Revolution is a good movie. But he directed this, and we have our boy, William Franklin Miller, playing George Washington. And I will say, if I can say one nice thing about this movie before we get into the formal review, is William Franklin Miller, he is a very good actor. He is not given much to do in this movie because this movie has a lot of flaws, but he actually is one good thing where he's at least trying. So I did appreciate this. And some of the other side characters are really trying. There's this guy, Leo Han, who played Christopher Gist, who's like his buddy. I liked his performance a lot. I really like, there's a French general, and he has this giant mustache, and he's just like the most stereotypical French guy you've ever seen. He's just, like everything he says. That dude, I had a great time with. That dude was hilarious. So when I went and saw this film, I went on Thursday the 2nd to, an early showing, and it was only me in the theater. So great experience. But then I found out like yesterday, the 3rd, the showing was completely sold out. Not a single seat available. So that's pretty wild. So, stay tuned. It'll be interesting to see how this movie does box office wise. It's from Angel Studio, which is a very big, you love it or you hate it type studio. So, The Young Washington, my issue with it is it looks cheap. Nothing about it looks that great. The set pieces aren't that good. And they do that blue, like, hue on the lens to make it look cold or something. I don't know. It just looks cheap to me. And then you hear about this controversy where apparently a lot of the backgrounds they used AI to generate, which I'm like, guys, come on. Like, y'all can do better than that. But I mean, somehow, this movie stacked side characters. You got Mary Louise Parker, Kelsey Grammer, Sir Ben Kingsley, Andy Serkis. So, you got some good folks in this, but like I said, it just feels cheap, and I just feel like there's not a need to watch it because, if you want a good George Washington, watch Hamilton. If you want a good, like, patriotic war film, then watch, The Patriot. Because this movie also, it's about the British fighting against basically in the, French and Indian War where they're fighting the French or fighting some Native Americans. And so, I don't know. Overall, the movie, not great. But I did have a good theater experience, just me being in there alone, and there were some okay spots, so I'm gonna give it a very generous 2 out of 5 for Young Washington in theaters now. I bore that cross for y'all. But let's get into Ebo's top 5 asterisk movies to watch for 4th of July. And I say asterisk because for those new to the program, I'm a big honorable mentions guy. And so I am starting us out with Alexander Hamilton. My name is Alexander Hamilton. So this movie is fantastic because of how they integrate live audience with no audience so they can get those super close-ups. It's incredible the editing they did, but at the end of the day, even though this is an incredible play, this is an incredible edited, production to watch at home, this is not a movie, it, as it were. So that's why that had to get an honorable mention. But now let's get into Ebo's top 5 movies. Does it help you celebrate the 4th of July? And at number 5, we want something celebrating the American dream, what it is to be an American and, strive for happiness, strive for, something of yourself, striving to make yourself. So I'm starting out with In the Heights. In the Heights, this is a play turn movie, but this is actually a movie. Anthony Ramos, Melissa Barrera, some other amazing folks who I'm blanking on the names of. But this is a musical, and it's just about some immigrants, whether it be them, their parents, their grandparents. They came to America with hopes and dreams of bettering themselves, and that's what everyone should strive for. Hopes and dreams of bettering yourselves. We all in this together. We all got to try together. So In the Heights, number 5. Now, being a kid that grew up in the 90s, this next film, had to be done. And that is The Sandlot. The Sandlot is just a great coming of age movie. Very good cast, very good quotable movies. You got the Beast in there. You got sparklers, you got them swimming, you got them playing outside. This is what the epitome of growing up was, where you're playing outside all day until the sun's going down. You're meeting friends, you're just having a great time. Not all the tablet garbage going on nowadays. Sandlot, fantastic movie. All right, and number 3, I referenced this movie earlier, and that is The Patriot. Mel Gibson, Heath Ledger. This is a movie. These top 3 I watch every single 4th of July without fail. So number 3, we have The Patriot. And The Patriot, it's just some great acting, some great action, very good battle scenes, some very tender moments. Like I said, phenomenal cast. And Jason Isaacs, what a scumbag in this movie. Are you the father of that boy? You think Malfoy's daddy was bad? Nah. Jason Isaacs in this. Scum bag. But yeah, Patriot. I watch it every 4th. I can still remember when me and my dad saw it in theaters. So it's a sentimental pick. All right, next up. And I mean, this takes place 4th of July weekend. One of the biggest scenes of the movie takes place on the 4th of July. And this may be the most perfect film ever made. That's right, Jaws. One of my all-time favorite films, what I consider possibly the greatest film ever made. It has no fat. It is just a perfect film. It still holds up to be from the 70s and only rated PG. Don't forget that. But this movie, it literally takes place 4th of July. Talk about scumbags. This mayor, scumbag, absolute scumbag. We can't close the beach. I don't care if people are dying. It's the 4th of July. Terrible. But this movie, fantastic movie, and great 4th of July pick. But number one, I mean, this is no surprise to anybody because welcome to Earth. That's right. Independence Day, with probably the greatest, one of the greatest speeches. I can't say greatest because I'm looking at a couple on my back wall, but one of the greatest speeches in cinema history. Today we celebrate our Independence Day. I mean, chills every single time. Independence Day, it's a watch. It has to be done every single 4th of July for me because we got to ring it in. Phenomenal cast, phenomenal story. Check it out. But guys, that's it. Please, this 4th of July, watch some movies, eat some good food, celebrate with friends and family, and make sure to tell folks, you're celebrating with how much you care about them, how much you love them. I have been to 3 funerals and 4 total visitations this past month, which is a very, tough experience. And it's just one of these things, we don't know how much time we have left, but life isn't measured by how much time you have, it's measured by how well you live. So make sure you tell people you love them that do. Make sure you tell people you care about them because you never know. It could save a life. It could, at least you'll have to look back on that. Hey, we might have fought sometimes, but I always knew that they loved me. And guys, this Monday, let's cheer on, Team USA. Let's hope they go all the way, taking out Belgium. That'll be great. And let's cheer on our friends to the south, Mexico, taking on England tomorrow, July 5th. Let's get them sent packing. And like I said, just have fun. Have a safe 4th of July. And if you want to check us out on Instagram and TikTok, A Toast to Film, all one word. Check us out on Twitter at film_toast. Or check us out on wonderful YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. We appreciate it more than you know. And from Bucky the Beaver and me, we just hope you have a good night and a good viewing.